I didn't know what to put in the title of this live stream. But I thought this is about freedom and a future where we will have, well, the aim is that we will have less freedom. And, I don't agree with this whole direction that all Western governments seem to be wanting us to go. I care more about freedom than comfort. And I don't really know why that is. It's just how it is. I've always been like that. Not everyone is like that. Sorry. But that's what I want to talk about. Basically, the state of the world as we are speaking, and the implementation of AI into everything, the so-called age verification, that people don't seem to get it, do they? They think it's about children, keeping children safe. And I don't know if that is about a lack of intelligence or a lack of perception or both. I really don't know. But it's not good. So here's how it is for me, and you guys can relate to this. I know. I want to be able to wake up and walk into the forest if I want to, and I usually want to do that, without anyone telling me that I can't. I want to eat what I want, and I want to do what I like. Now, obviously, as I said before here on this channel, we can't have a pure libertarian society because there are so many idiots around. We'll have people driving around drunk. So we need to have some rules in society. But what I'm seeing is that the freedoms that I'm tempted to use this expression, God-given freedoms. I'm not a Christian, but those freedoms that some people say it's my God-given right and things like that. But essential things, I want to be able to do that. And I want to be able to do it without it being tracked, monitored, and surveilled. Now, the age verification is coming to the USA very soon. I don't know the details on that, but the current administration is pushing for that. And do not be surprised if it will be framed as a very Christian thing to do, the age verification on the internet, because they will say, "Oh, it's a sin with all the sex and porn on the internet, and we need to make sure that kids don't see that." Now, I don't know if children are harmed by seeing that. Actually, we shouldn't just assume things, but I don't think it's a good thing for kids. If I could choose, I would choose that no children would see that, you know, because they're kids. Let them be kids, you know. So yeah, yeah, it's going to be dark here because in my office here, because I get a migraine if I have lights shining on me. I can't do that. Yeah. Actually, yes, I saw that video. Cyber Waffle UK, um, the age verification, or they call it something, some kind of act, getting pushed forward in Congress in the USA. And I've said it for a long time. The UK was first, and it's coming to the USA. And the EU is watching. Of course, they are. They really want to do this, you know. So I think that you can't really fight this. Well, you can fight it, but you won't win. You have to detach, and this is what I'm trying to say. It's like YouTube could implement age verification. Well, they have done in some countries. Have they done that in the USA already? Um, they could do it tomorrow in all countries. That's why I'm keep saying, please subscribe to my website. It's for free, and then you're not dependent on a video hosting platform if you want to see my videos. If you don't want to see my videos, then of course you don't have to. But um, and I get it, they could do that on the entire internet, but the way to the best way to do this is that you get a VPN. Get a VPN. I'm not selling VPNs. I, I'm using a VPN, but it doesn't matter which one it is. Get a VPN and subscribe to the websites. Put the websites on your bookmark the websites and check them regularly. And to the video creators and the content creators, the podcasters, and so on that you like, and then you won't be stuck if the video hosting platform becomes intolerable, and I'm not dependent on YouTube. I can use another video hosting platform. You will find my videos, not my live streams, but my videos on Rumble as well. Of course, Rumble doesn't pay me. I checked. I've been there for years, and they haven't paid me anything yet, because the threshold is $100, and I've made $42. $42. Um, yeah, so people here are saying that VPNs won't work, and you're a professional. That's great. Yeah, I'm not. But as far as I know, the VPNs do work, and they work well. Um, and you can choose. You can just hold your hands up and give up. You know. But I use a VPN, and everyone I know that has sensitive material, not don't think dirty, sensitive material, that would be, for me as an author, manuscripts, people in the police and so on, lawyers, they use VPNs. And there's a reason for that. Now, I'm not interested in a discussion about that. If you don't want to use the VPNs, don't use it. I'm going to, and I do recommend that people do that. Use a VPN, and if it becomes intolerable on your platform or in your country, use the VPN to access the websites of those content creators that you enjoy watching. So please don't be a fucking troll in the chat, okay? It's too early for me. I've already been working, and I'm not in the mood for that. You're just screwing everything up for everyone here, okay? So, for those who haven't got it yet, age verification, and it's mind-boggling when I'm interested in the comment section when you have they say, they in the news, Facebook and so on, and there's a poster, let's say, Australia now has age verification, and no, social media, they can't access under 16s, you can't access social media, something like that. um, and and I'm not going to talk about the weather either. So when they write about that in mainstream media and they post that on social media, and you see the comment section, and most people are in support of that because they don't understand what's going on. So if you're new to this channel and if you want to know, age verification means that everyone must upload identification and probably also do a biometric face scan on the internet. That information is worth billions. So, and also it can feed the AI models. Now, AI has a problem now. They scrape the internet for everything that they can steal, and they have stolen everything. And these models are built on, they are dependent on more and more information. And I've heard that they can't get further now because there is no more information to steal. So they stolen all the books, they stolen all the music, they stolen all the images. And I believe that's part of the reason why they want age verification, because that information will be sold to these companies, and it will, all the biometric data, it will be fed into the not only the LLMs, the large language models, but also the next generation of AI that I believe is coming very soon. Now, most people today, let's see how the chat is doing. Okay. Okay, I'll just tidy up a little. KP Heathen, good to see you. Can you tidy up in the chat a little bit? I'm just not in the mood for nonsense. Okay. So now, so that's the internet part of it. Okay. Another essential part is the smartphone addiction. Now, actually, any addictions. Now, I do believe that the prepper mindset is a healthy mindset. And I'm not talking about the fat guy sitting in his home, unable to walk 100 yards, and he has 100 guns. And he thinks that's being a prepper. Not talking about that. I'm talking about being mindful about what's probably going to happen. So any addictions that you have needs to go. It's very simple. Because you will be in a world of hurt when the grid goes down. And the grid, I don't think the grid will go down, but it will for you, if you care about your freedom. What I mean is that, okay, you decide not to do the age verification, not to do the biometric face scan. Well, suddenly you can't access the internet. Suddenly you can't go shopping. Where's your line in the sand? For me, it is the biometric face scan. I'm not going to do it. And I'm fully aware that that implies that my life will be very different in the future. So are you prepared to, where is your line in the sand? Where is it? And maybe you know that I quit caffeine because that was my only addiction. And most people do have a caffeine addiction. And I didn't really drink coffee, but it was energy drinks. And I thought, it's not healthy. There are worse things out there, um, of course, but it's not healthy. Water is better. So I quit that, and I don't have any other addictions. I don't drink alcohol. Obviously, I'm not smoking. I never have. And all of these things need to go. Um, Now, some people are dependent on medicine for different uh, things, of course, and you can't quit that. Um, but what I'm trying to say is that if you want to be free, prepare for quite a different life. Quite a different life. Um, now, okay. So we're going to tackle. I'll have to take my jacket off. We're going to tackle another thing here. I see it popping up in the comments a little bit now. And this is quite important, okay? So this is not an attack on you, Pranalion. Not at all. I'll just quote you, okay? They already have our biometric profile. And you're saying to give it up is to give consent. Well, they do not have, in most cases, they do not have the necessary biometric data. They want more. And I know that because YouTube has introduced a likeness detector. And there are two aspects to that. One is, so if you didn't know, if you want as a video creator to activate the likeness detector, you need to do a biometric face scan and upload that to Google. I'm not going to do that. Are you crazy? That is part because they want that information for their AI to help the AI. So I'm not interested. But also probably because to make that likeness detector work, they need more proper information about you. The videos that I make are not enough, right? So that's why what I'm trying to say here is that this attitude that, oh, they already have our biometric face scan. They will already, if there are surveillance cameras in the street, they do a biometric face scan. No, they don't. It's not that easy, actually. Now, I did look into this in detail. Now, that might change in the future. They might become more advanced, but I'm not going to give up that easily, or ever. I'm actually not ever going to give up. So this attitude, there is a word for it, right? And I probably will think of it after this live stream. But this attitude is like, oh, they already have done the biometric face scan, so I'll just let them do the biometric face scan whenever they want. It doesn't matter. And it's like with a smartphone, and this one I've heard many times. It doesn't matter if you have a dumb phone; they will still track you. So I looked into that. No, they won't. That's pure conspiracy talk. It's not that easy. They will have to use triangulation, and it's triangulation. It really is not very exact. But if you have a smartphone, when you sit down on the toilet, it will know. You know? So, um, Yeah, defeatist. Yes, I'm Rocky Mountain Bear. Thank you. That's the word I probably was looking for. So this defeatist attitude, I don't like that. And if they can convince you that they already have your biometric face scan, they already have your DNA because of, I don't know. Oh yeah, yeah. Um, During COVID, the COVID test was used as a. They used that. And this is a conspiracy theory, by the way. They used that to sample the DNA of everyone. You know, the test. I never did one of those tests, but up the nose and all of that. So they took that, and that's the sampling the DNA of everyone. So they already have that. So why don't we give the American authorities our DNA when we try to enter the USA? No, don't be that person. Make it difficult for them. Okay. Apathy and defeatist, yes. Make it difficult for them. Now, Saurse, I need to figure out how to pronounce that. Don't some countries have your fingerprints for passports? Yes, some countries do. But that's different. You know, the fingerprint is, I can, I don't agree with that, but I mean, biometric face scan is a lot worse. Yeah, so what's happening with the Norwegian farmers? What is it like in the news in other countries now? Sometimes it's like old news and they are kind of ramping it up, adding some things to it, so especially on Fox News. So don't be defeatist. Make it difficult for them. And if you want to have your privacy, get ready to ditch your smartphone. And I'm at the moment using a smartphone because of some health issues, but I'm getting better. I'm working on it, and very soon I will not be. I won't need that smartphone. But of course, it's great. I like the smartphone when it comes to listening to podcasts and things like that. But if it's going to be like, oh, it's you're under surveillance all the time, of course I won't. And you are, then it's not worth it. And I wouldn't have gotten a smartphone after not having had a smartphone for 5 years if it wasn't for those health issues. Norway won't stay independent from the EU for long anyway. Norway is not independent from the EU at this moment. No, it's not. It's not. We're not part of the EU. We're not going to be, because there is resistance. There is a large number of people do not want us to become members of the EU, and they need to have a vote in the population. All people vote, and so we won't be part of the EU, but our politicians are basically doing what the EU is saying. And I don't like that. And they're straight out saying now, as I said some years ago, that they are trying to turn Norway into a battery for mainland Europe, which is horrible. It's just devastating to nature here. So that's a smartphone. And another thing, just as a sort of a sidetrack, I'll just say this. I did say that if you need some medicine, obviously, then you need that. But what I'm seeing now is that young men get on steroids to get big muscles. And that's the opposite. First of all, I have so much contempt for that. It's so weak to do that. And when it comes to from a prepper perspective, well, you're making yourself completely dependent on getting that stuff, right? Because what happens when they get off it? Well, they get impotent and depressed. And we're talking clinical, very dark depression. So they are lost. They are lost, those guys there. And the girls too. It's very popular among the girls. But let's leave that for another time. Um, yeah, so again, it is now we have a situation where things are gradually getting worse, but it is like that case, the case of the frog in the boiling water, and we are that frog, and big tech, big pharma, uh, yeah, all these companies, big war, can we say that? Big food, processed food, uh, they are trying to change things at such a rate that people will just tolerate it. So we need to have perspectives on this. Ask yourself, would I have tolerated this thing here 10 years ago? If the answer is no, you probably should not tolerate it. So, yeah. But get ready to live a less comfortable life. I really don't get how people are so lazy. I don't get it. I mean, I pay money to be uncomfortable. I'm talking about my hiking gear. You're seeing one of the quilts behind me there, actually. Um, and that's how I want to live. I like life. I prefer life outdoors. I don't like being inside a house so much. At this time of the year, it is difficult because the days are so short. But you know, tomorrow, well, it's Saturday morning here. So if this is the evening for you guys, uh, the day after tomorrow, uh, winter solstice, and days will become longer again. Um, so the world is very big, you know, the world is very big. Did I say big work? I said big food, big war. Uh, yeah, maybe big work is a good expression because we're expected to work more and more uh, without getting paid so much more. And here's a crazy thing I heard that you need a six-figure salary in the USA now to live comfortably in a good neighborhood. Is that true? Because that's a lot of money, isn't it? That's like 1 million Norwegian kroner. How many? No, it's okay. But how many is making that kind of money in the USA? I think not so many. Um, yeah. So would I get out of Norway if I could? The reason why I can't is the exit tax, and I got this nice Christmas card from the tax authorities a couple of days ago, and they said next year, so 2026, you're going to pay income tax and tax in advance. Isn't that wonderful? Uh, it warms my heart because that means that I will contribute even more to this social democracy that we have here even more. And yeah, I'll be paying taxes on money I haven't made yet. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. um, so would I leave? Yes, yes, I would. I love Norway, I really do, but with the taxes here, uh, it's just and yeah, we have nice things here, and society kind of works. We haven't had that much immigration until lately, when it just exploded because of family reunions, actually. So yeah, it's changing rapidly here now, and yeah. I would actually want to live a place where the winters are a little bit warmer, and where the nights are not as long. Um, but that's going to be in the future. Um, the USA was always high on my list, I would say, but now it's just, with the current regime, it's not. It's not going to happen. Um, but you know, we will see. Um, Norwegians never colonized any tropical countries. Okay. No, that is true. We don't like that. So instead, we colonized Antarctica because it feels like home. They have snow and ice, you know. Mm. The problem with the USA, even though I'm sure there are many places there that are wonderful. Uh, if the new suggestion, the proposal from the current regime in the USA goes through, and I think it will, then you will have to, as you enter the USA, you have to give them access to the last 5 years of your social media activity. You have to give them a DNA sample. They will do a biometric face scan, and you have to give them names and addresses and telephone numbers of your family. Screw that, you know. I'm not interested in having Peter Thiel of Palantir looking at all that information. Not interested. um, yes. Um, why Norwegians accepted this? Because we never colonized any tropical countries. Are you talking about immigration? Um, yeah, I'm not against social democracy if it's fair, but it's never been fair, has it? Because of human nature. Um, are those entrance requirements for all tourists? Well, I know that Norway is on that list when it comes to entry to the USA. Yeah, so what can you do? We can talk about this all day long, but I think that you have to have a list of things that is in the category no, fuck that. Excuse my French. And excuse me to excusez-moi to all the French people here, if there are any French people here. Yeah, a list of things that you won't do. Never ever. Right? For me, during COVID, it was the vaccine. I'm not getting the vaccine ever. You know, now, I'm not saying that you're a bad person if you had the vaccine. Not saying that at all. But that's just that was important for me. Another thing is a biometric face scan. I'm not going to stand there and have them do that. No. Um, and there are many other things on that list, of course. Um, yeah. And the consequences will, of course, be there. I don't know what the consequences will be, but what I do know is that the comforts of modern society, that's kind of the carrot that they're saying. You'll get all this comfort as part of modern society if you just let us surveil you all 24/7. You do the biometric face scan, give us a DNA sample, and be a good boy on social media. Don't criticize the current holy cow. It used to be the trans people. Now, next, I don't think that's a thing anymore, but there will be something new. And then I'm like, I don't want that carrot. I'm not interested. I want to go hiking. Yeah, that's what I want. Um, and I'll be doing that a lot more. Now, this is not the season for that here in Norway because the days are so short. But um, and all this talk about people, no travel, they want people to stop traveling. Yeah, but I will walk. I will walk. And it's like the way I see the world is like ocean and land. And there are some speckles, some areas where people live. But that's just very tiny, tiny places. Now I come from Norway, of course. So Norway is wilderness, basically. Most of Norway is wilderness. Yeah, we don't really have that much of the old forest left, but it's basically unpopulated here. So it's great, you know. Yeah. Don't forget massive deserts of ice, sand, and mountains. Yes, yes, I know. But here it's forest and mountains. So, I'll just go hiking. And when you spend time outside, I've said this before, you get exposed to infrared radiation, and it penetrates six centimeters into your body. Actually, I'm not making that up. It goes through your clothes as well, and it's very healthy. It kind of activates your mitochondria. If you're among green leaves and grass, it will you get even more radiation because it reflects it, right? You also get that radiation from a campfire, like not from these. Now I'm pointing. I don't have LED here, but because I bought a whole lot of these um, light bulbs that you can't get anymore. I bought boxes of those, but they will run out eventually. So yeah, we need the sun. Joe Primal, yes. What I was going to say is that sun is healthy, being among trees is healthy, the campfire is healthy. It's almost as we were supposed to be out there, you know? Um, so let's do that then. Let's do that. Uh, yeah, Canada, I really want to go to Canada. Yeah. Um, I would really like to go to Russia as well. I've been there, and it's very fascinating. But that's out of the question now, I think. Um, Humans are wild animals. You're writing, humans are wild animals who are supposed to be hunting, farming, fishing, harvesting fruits, etc. Yeah. Where can we buy old halogens? I don't think you can anymore. I bought, there was one company selling the last ones, and I bought a whole bunch of them. But when they run out, I'm actually going to use kerosene lamps a lot more. Um, oh, Craig, um, yeah, you have a you're sitting in the now sitting by my wood stove in a tent watching all of it on my smartphone. Yeah, it's like I think that the smartphone is a wonderful invention. It's fantastic. You can just bring some entertainment there in your pocket. It's wonderful. Um, but of course, they are using it to track you, which is not good. And there was what's the guy, Rob Braxman, was it? Um, I got a light phone, which is not connected to the internet, but also you can get a de-googled phone. Rob Braxman, isn't that his name? He's on YouTube, and he's all about safety, internet safety, and privacy. A video about my kerosene lamps. Well, they're not that special, but yes, I could do that. I envy you, Craig, sitting by a wood stove in a tent. I envy that. Yeah, I'm. I said that I'm going out again after the moose hunt has ended, because it's ending the 23rd. So in 3 days. And at this time, the last days, people are crazy. And after that, of course, the days are still very short, but I need to get out, sit by the campfire or the wood stove. So probably in early January, I'll be out again. And that will be on my outdoors channel, and I probably upload it also to my main channel. And yeah, let's see here. Vaidor 76 says, my brother and me have talked about bicycle St. Olav's pilgrimage trail in Norway. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, I know. You need ventilation with kerosene lamps. They can give you a headache. Yeah, you can't just put a lot of them in your house just like that. It's yeah. Now the moose hunt. Now we're at the part of the. I have one more thing I wanted to talk about, so I'll do that. But I'll just reply to one thing here, and then we'll get back to the chat. Let's see. Yeah, so when it comes to the kerosene lamps, what I'm thinking of doing is to make an outdoors area. So under I'll have an electric radiation heater and some kerosene lamps, and I'm thinking maybe sleeping out there as well, like every night. So I'm not sleeping in the house. I'm thinking of doing that. Yeah, and then of course you have complete, since it's in the open, you won't get any headache from the lamps. Let's see here. Yes, so this thing I wanted to mention is that, and I won't mention any names, of course. I got an email from someone who apologized to me. And I thought, why are you apologizing? No, it was an apology concerning the COVID vaccination. And I think it's such a wonderful thing, and it tells me that this is a really good person, a mature adult person who owns his mistakes, and he learned from that. Now, what if you didn't know? During COVID, I said that I'm not getting the vaccine, and I advise everyone to look at some proper information about the vaccination and make up your own mind concerning that. I never told people to not go and get the vaccine. I just said that you must make up your own mind, and it's an individual medical choice for everyone. Everyone needs to make that choice for himself or herself. And I don't think that that's an extreme thing to say, but that statement made me very hated. A little bit of death threats and things like that. It's very nice how people can be, and because as we know now, the idea was that if you don't get the vaccine, you're a murderer. You'll kill Granny, and all of that. And to me, it's like this is about personal freedom and bodily integrity. But let's quote Arnold Schwarzenegger. Fuck your freedoms, as he said. But I don't agree with that. I think freedom is important. And to some people, it is the most important quality of life, because we shouldn't take it for granted. Now, so when people reach out and they say sorry for the critique, the name calling, and all of that, I think that's not everyone can do that. Not everyone is, we say in Norway, stor nok, big enough to do that. So that was nice. But let's face it, people are not going to apologize. It's not something that really happens at all. But it did happen on this occasion. Let's see. Is Donar an Old Norse word for Thor? I actually don't know. Cyrus says, I'm about to buy a tent and start sleeping outside myself. Yeah. I think it's very healthy to do that. Some category of people aren't deserved for apologizing. Yeah, I agree. When I heard that people like myself should go and get a rope and hang myself because I was not vaccinated, I think that's a statement that should not be, it doesn't deserve, forgiveness. KP Hidden, the video that used my content, it has been taken down. It has been taken down. So it took only a month for me to deal with YouTube concerning the theft of my content. But yeah, that video was taken down. So I don't have any copyright strikes on my channels at all now. And if you didn't know what happened, very short version here. I got my content stolen. I reported it, and YouTube's AI responded by taking down one of my videos and giving me a copyright strike. Donar is Germanic from further south. Okay. Like Wotan is a word for Odin in the south. Yes, thank you. Audrey says, that's terrible. I fell out with people over it. They look a bit silly now. Why would you trust government in first place? Yeah. And it's, I don't like to be right about these things, when I said this vaccine will increase your risk of heart, what's it called? Not heart failure, but heart issues with your heart. And that turned out to be true. I don't want that to be true. I don't want people who got the vaccine to have health problems. Of course I don't. What exercise for morning gymnastics do you advise? To take a walk, I would say. The winters in Norway, yes, they are much milder than they used to be. In my mind, we still haven't had snow. It's just raining all the time. Yeah. Welcome to Tanzania. You met the guy from Norway. 4 years living in Tanzania. He and his family don't want to go back to Norway. Well, I would like to go to Africa, absolutely. And Joe Primal says, I know people who are on their 6th jab and still insist it's safe. Yeah, but it's a fantasy, and they keep pushing this narrative. But it's doctors are talking about this now, and they are saying that the narrative doesn't fit with reality at all. Yeah. Why would you trust the government? That's why would you trust the government? And they're just people. It's a bunch of people. Why would you trust people that you don't know like that? Why would you? I think people don't realize how much corruption there is and how easy it is to get people into corruption. Yeah. Yeah, Carola saying Donner is the German word for thunder. So Wednesday, Wotanstag in German is Donnerstag. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Yeah, so here's how I think it works, when it comes to governments and corruption. I think there is much more corruption than we know about in most countries. And they also have information about each other that cannot come out in the open. So they use that basically to blackmail people or to keep people in check. And that's how this Jeffrey Epstein could keep doing what he was doing. And I mean, it's crazy, right? You have the new photos that was leaked. Bill Gates is of course there, and what's the president? The president, your the president who said, "I did not have sex with that woman," that guy. He's there. Clinton, yes. And it's like these people are like Clinton, for instance. He get invited to, for instance, Norway, and he's paid mind-boggling amount of money to talk to people in a conference room. So it's not like they are, as they should be, hated. And it's like they are accepted. I think that's because they have something on other people, so that if they are not accepted, they will leak that information, and everybody knows that. That's how I think it works. And that's why someone like me, I could never get into politics. I would not be successful. I'm not perfect, but I wouldn't do crazy stuff, you know. And I because I think it's wrong. And most people, I think, are like that. And that's also why I think there's a certain kind of people who get to be at a high level in politics. Now, I might be just, I don't know this, but that's what it looks like. I mean, this, if you're naive, and you get invited to Jeffrey Epstein's island, okay, and you have no idea what's going on, and you go there. You go there once, then you go back home as soon as possible, and you report to the authorities what's going on there, right? But if you go back, if you go back, then you're guilty, of course. If you go back, you're guilty. You're, or at least accepting prostitution and basically rape of underage girls, children. And if you do that, you're a horrible person. You're just a horrible, horrible being. This is not complicated. So Clinton and Bill Gates, because of that, they are horrible people. It is that simple. And imagine, it gets even worse, because people like that, imagine the power that they have. They could have called this out, they could have exposed this like that. It would have been so easy for them to crush this Epstein and this whole system. It would have been so easy. But they didn't do that because they were part of it. And I think they kind of liked going there to do what they were doing there. And because of that, I'll say it again, they are horrible people. They should be in jail. Why are they not in jail? Right? Who else? Mick Jagger. Put him in jail. Now he's already, as David Bowie. David Bowie is dead, but they both already admitted to having sex with a 14-year-old girl. back in their when they were younger, but they were very adult men back then. Put them in jail. Well, you can't do that with David Bowie now, but why is Mick Jagger walking around? Why? This is what I don't get. Why? Well, I do think I do get it, but it's wrong. They should be in jail. Put them in jail. Bill Gates, put them in jail. Clinton, in jail. Throw away the key. Could have could have been. It those girls were someone's daughter. Now, this is something that should never be forgiven. Okay? And I another thing that I've seen on social media, these red pill fucking bros, they're saying, excuse my language, I'm getting upset now. Some of them are saying that, oh, if a girl is like 15, 16, um, it's not necessarily wrong because she's a woman by then. And no, it's that's not okay. Now, of course, 16-year-old kids, they are having sex. Let's not kid ourselves here. But with people their own age, that's big difference. Big difference there. So when you have people like Bill Gates and Clinton and Mick Jagger, I mean, older than me, and they're going there, and they, let's face it, they're if they're not gay, secretly gay, I don't know, then they have sex with 16-year-old girls. Come on, they should not be walking around. They should be in jail. This is very, oh, Prince Andrew, yeah, yeah, in jail, throw away the key. This is very simple. But no, let's instead do like they do in the UK. If you write some nasty words on the internet, then you will get put in jail. But they're not putting this Prince Andrew in jail, are they? Yeah, that's justice for you, isn't it? Now I'm being ironic here, of course. Uh, yeah. Also, there are these men who say that, oh, I thought she was 18 because to get into this nightclub, you have to be 18. Well, then legally, I guess it's different because in that case, well, then but we're not talking about that at all. They knew. They knew. Carola, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's horrible. Um, that's horrible. Yeah. Um, yeah, but it's a crazy world now, and that's another aspect, I guess. You get, as a man, you get what seems to be happening is that the attitude is that men are just men and they're all the same. That seems to be an attitude that a lot of people have. In reality, most men are decent. In my experience, most men are decent. Now, I don't know everything about that, of course, but that's my impression. Men are not perfect. They can be tempted, but it's like they're not bad people in general. And I think that's easily forgotten. But it we live in a kind of society now where I'll give you an example from my personal life. Once a week, I drive my car to a powerlifting club, a gym, and because I quit the local one because of the problems there. And then some other people join me in the car, and we drive there to save some money. We don't have to drive several cars there. Uh, and some of these kids, well, some are kids, and then I'm thinking, what if it's like when we meet up one place and we drive there, okay? What if it's like the other people call in sick or something, and only one person joins me in the car, and that's let's say a 16-year-old girl? Then what? Is you know the sad state of things now is that then I would actually be thinking what I should not think. I would be thinking, is this safe for me? You know, uh, what if something happens like in the future where your mind starts going like this, and what if I'm accused of making advances towards that girl in the future? Oh, you did that. I can't prove anything against that. Now, I know these kids, they wouldn't do that, of course. But you start thinking, you know, and that's a horrible thing. You start thinking these things: that is this safe for me? Will I be accused of something in the future? Um, yeah, exactly. Never be alone with a minor. They can accuse you. But again, I know these kids, and they are nice kids, very nice kids. But it there is this voice at the back of my head that's saying that you shouldn't put yourself in that position, you know. So, and where did we get? How did we get to this? How did we get to this? It should not be like that. It, how is it that something as simple as, well, we'll just what's it called, carpooling, driving one car instead of several to this gym? How is that we got to that? How is it? Insane. It's insane. um and again, these I know these kids, and I know uh, it wouldn't be a problem, but you start thinking, you know so um yeah, there is so much suspicion, Laura. Yes. um yeah, so what I think is that when we have cases like that, we hear about these terrible people like Bill Gates and Bill Clinton, Mick Jagger, horrible people. Um, and then it kind of shapes people's perception of men. Now, not all of those were men, of course. You had Ghislaine Maxwell and others who facilitated this, and maybe some of them were actually predators themselves. I don't know. To be honest with you, oh yeah, Trump as well. But that was he there? I don't know. Um, I know he was involved with Epstein, but was he on the island? I don't know. Um, yeah. So, but anyway, Lars, yes, what you talk about right now has something to do with the feminist movement that put all men in the same bucket. Yeah, they do, don't they? Um, so, yeah, good to see you. We will. I'll be back in a few days with another live stream, but let's keep talking. Um, yeah. I don't know what the solution would be, but some standards and morals should be implemented in our culture. What has been seen lately is this acceptance of everything. And I mean, you don't have to be perfect. You will make mistakes. We all do, but we we don't have to. We shouldn't try to call those mistakes something else. If there were mistakes, those were mistakes. Don't try not to do it again, right? And then when it comes to pure evil actions like the things that went down on Epstein's island, then that's pure evil, and that's not ordinary. Most people would not do that. I believe most people would absolutely not do that. Kat says Trump is as implicated as any of them except maybe Prince Andrew. Yeah, you think Prince Andrew was worse than Trump? Yeah, I I looked at those photos now because it was in the news. Um, but honestly, I try not to look at that or read about it so much because it's so depressing. Yeah. When I'm talking about mistakes here, we all make mistakes. I'm talking about. Uh, I need to make this very clear. Not mistakes as you go to Epstein Island and sleep with a 16-year-old. That's not a mistake. That's a criminal. Uh, well, is it a criminal offense in most? I don't. I don't know the laws in other countries, but if it's not a criminal offense in your country, it should be. It really should be. That's not what I'm talking about. A mistake would be you get drunk and you end up sleeping in a ditch on the way back home. That's a mistake. And you try not to do that again, right? um, so, yeah. Laura is asking a nicer question here than the topic that we are talking about. What kind of special meal do you have for your or Christmas, jul? Um, Actually, and this is not, I'm not allowed to say this, but I will say it. I don't like Christmas food, Norwegian Christmas food. I don't like it. It's just blocks of fat. I don't like it. Oh, oh, I'm hearing people with pitchforks outside now. They're coming to get me. I actually like the. I don't like the. So we have pork belly for Christmas in southeastern parts of Norway. Pork belly. Blasphemy. I know. In the north, they have cod, and in the west and the interior, they have pinnekjøtt, which is sheep. So, and I don't really like any of that. Cod I associated with trying to make the weight class when I was a junior lifter. Then you would eat cod and some rice to lower your body weight. And now I don't like any of it. I like the sauce and the potatoes and Brussels sprouts and the carrots, boiled carrots. But I can't really eat the vegetables. I don't tolerate. Yeah, I can eat the vegetable. I can eat the carrots, not the Brussels sprouts. So, yeah, um, no, it's not my favorite. What's wrong with the steak? Why can't we have steak? Yeah, roast beef would have been better. Hmm. Yeah, I know animal fats are healthy. I know. It's just that I can't sit and eat blocks of fat, and that's what it is. It's like that, thick. So you have a square piece of meat, right? And the outer, so it's like this deep with fat, and then you have a little bit meat under it, like that. KP Hidden. I don't know what's going on there, but I think the chat is okay now. Um, hmm. Norwegian salmon, yeah, it's farmed and it's an ecological disaster and it's very toxic. Don't eat that. And it's not wild. You can't get wild salmon here. Well, you can fish for wild salmon, but the one you buy in the stores, it's farmed salmon. Um, yeah. Valley of Shadows, Norwegian movie. Sounds um, it sounds familiar. It's probably the Norwegian title is different, probably. You can buy wild caught salmon in the US, then do that instead. Yeah. Yeah, Corolla, yeah, wild salmon is better. Yeah, it tastes so much better as well. Mm. Turkey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, the characters that I write about, they often eat pork belly. That it goes back into the Viking age, so I should enjoy it, but it's too fatty for me actually. Um, yeah, but it's a Norwegian tradition here, um, as well as drinking too much and arguing over politics and getting upset and drunk. Yeah. um, Now, pork belly, I think that's what it's called. It's that part of the pork with the ribs, isn't it? Uh, but it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite. It's just too much fat there. And I have a problem also with watching people eating that much of fat. I think it's disgusting. Um, yeah, KP hit a good point. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he came to, he's an immigrant, and he said, "Fuck your freedoms" during COVID. Yeah. Um, Jamie says we make our own traditions here. Paul says turkey, ham, mac and cheese, mashed potatoes, gravy, rolls, pies. Oh, that sounds like a good evening, I would say. That, um, yeah, all of that. Yes. I actually think that traditional English food, I'm a big fan of traditional English food, and Christmas food in England, I'm a big fan of that. Yeah. Um, so, okay. As usual, I will have a video up on my main channel in Norwegian time, so that's later today. So about a 7:15 Norwegian time. So that will be in New York. That will be a 1:15 p.m. Saturday. And YouTube will not let you know, but I upload videos on that channel every Saturday at the same time. So it would be nice if you click on that video when it appears and maybe watch. Um, Colin Sport Library, thank you so much for the donation. That's so kind of you. And thank you for those kind words. Yeah. Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, so that video will be up at that time. So if this is the evening for you, that will be tomorrow during daytime or in the morning if you're in the USA, yeah, or Canada. Okay, have a wonderful day, and if we don't talk before winter solstice, then do enjoy that day, the shortest day of the year, but now then we know that the days will start getting longer again. Okay. Yeah, Merry Christmas and God Jul and all of that. We're not quite yet there, but we're getting close. So, okay. Have a wonderful evening or day. We will talk soon. Bye bye.